Nobody cares about your muscles. I would like to start by saying that shut the fuck up. I'm not saying that muscles are not important. I'm simply saying that there are things which are equally important that can get you instant results. Unlike muscle building, which is a process that takes around 3 to 6 months of consistent efforts before you see any results at all. So let me dive right into it. Number one is your posture. Even if you're somebody who has a great physique, but you have a bad posture, your shoulders are rounded, your back is hunched, you will still appear to be somebody who is weak and underconfident when you enter a room, as opposed to somebody with a good posture. They will always subconsciously command respect. You can fix it in three simple steps. Step number one is keep your chin up and imagine that you're balancing a crown on your head. Number two, you keep your shoulders pulled back. And number three, you keep your chest out. Not like a bodybuilder, but more like a mafia boss. A simple exercise to practice your posture is to stand against a wall for 5 minutes and then simply take a step forward. The posture that you have at that time, try to maintain that throughout the day. Number two, your communication skills. Even if you have six pack abs, but when you open your mouth, you talk like shit, nobody's gonna care about your muscles. The easiest way to create impact through communication is to speak with confidence and conviction. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that when you speak, you need to be certain about the words that are coming out of your mouth. You need to have belief behind every single word. If you talk about a subject, ensure that you have an understanding of the subject. If you narrate a story, then make sure that you leverage emotions to narrate that story. Be comfortable in awkward silences and don't hesitate before taking pauses. Lastly, understand this that language is a medium of communication and it is not communication itself. If you think that your English is not great, it's completely fine. You don't need to utilize that medium of communication. You can choose to speak in Hindi, but when you do decide to speak in a particular language, ensure that you use the correct grammar and you speak eloquently. Number three, you need to know how to make your presence felt. Otherwise, your boulder shoulders won't matter for shit. The best way to do that is to be a good listener. What do I mean by that? I mean that when somebody is talking, you listen with the intent to understand and not with the intent to respond. When somebody talks to you, you simply hear every single word that they speak. You try to put yourself in their shoes and you listen to them without any judgment. When you do this, you prime your brain to understand their perspective in the most effective way possible. This will not just allow you to ask thought provoking questions, but also allow you to add opinions which are not just relevant, but also impactful. And number four, by developing a sense of high self esteem. The way you do that is by A, keeping the promises that you make to yourself, and B, drawing strong boundaries. For instance, if you have made a promise to yourself that no matter what happens, you are going to finish your work today, then make sure that you finish it today. Anything and everything that comes between you and your promise is simply either a justification or an excuse. No matter how bad the conditions, no matter what the situation, ensure that you fulfill the promise that you have made to yourself. Trust me on this. I have known people who have gone through the worst of the conditions that a person can imagine, but they still decided to show up and keep the promise that they made to themselves. And the beauty about this is that even if you do decide to break your promise, the only person who's going to get affected is you, because you are telling your brain that you don't even take yourself seriously. So the next time you tell yourself that, hey, I'm going to become a millionaire, your brain doesn't believe you. Why? Because you have broken so many promises in the past that it has enough proof to not support your claim. So, if you want to achieve the big things in life, you need to start by fulfilling the small promises. Even if you have to be hungry the entire day, even if you have to hold yourself to go to the toilet for 30 minutes, even if you have to stay up all night and ruin your sleep, it doesn't matter. You make a promise, you fulfill it. Period. And in terms of having strong boundaries, if somebody wants you to do something and you feel against that, you don't want to do it, then you simply verbalize your thoughts and you take a stand. Tell them clearly that, hey, I'm not comfortable doing it, I'm not okay with it. As simple as that. No explanations and no justifications. And if somebody does not respect your boundary, then respect yourself enough and simply leave. And if somebody breaks your boundary, then make sure that they are unable to do so without facing the consequences. In any given situation, developing these four qualities is a tad more important than developing your muscles because they will ensure that when you enter a room, you command respect. When you enter a room, you are able to mark your presence. When you speak, people listen to you. And lastly, you develop enough respect for yourself that you have the balls to walk out of any room the moment you sense any amount of disrespect. So start applying them today, and I will see you in the next one. Hasta la vista, baby.